Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my views at this important forum. I think that the world is facing serious challenges at the present moment. For instance, the climate change problems that countries are experiencing, the war situations that countries are experiencing, the violence against women, the inequality, economic inequality amongst countries and within countries, and finally the levels of unemployment, particularly among the youth. I think that all these problems are based in our societal ethos in each of our countries and within our families and so on. So the main issue, I would say, is that religious interfaith communities and religious leaders can play an important role to bring about some of these changes. Pope Francis talked about the economy of solidarity. He talked about unity amongst the different faiths and amongst the community itself, and how it is possible for community members to help each other and not to rely on other forces, for instance, government and the international community. If community members themselves unite and try to create a peaceful climate, they can. If community members decide that they want environment safety and they begin to take measures, they can. They can influence also industry and governments to ensure that these actions are taken so that our climate and our environment is safeguarded. But it all depends on how community thinks about these issues. And today, unfortunately, we are one of the main issues in the community itself is that the values that the community is imbibing are materialistic values, and they don't reflect the actual teachings of our scriptures. We also are looking at xenophobia and of treating each other not as human beings, as a common humanity, but as different people. The differences are being emphasized. So religious differences are beginning to become more emphasized now. Race differences, ethnic differences, and so on, and particularly class and gender issues are beginning to become more emphasized. And because they are more emphasized, we see clashes occurring within communities, within families, within countries, and on gender issues. We see that the gender-based violence has increased in all countries, whilst on the other hand, women's rights are being upheld by many countries in terms of legislation. After the Beijing conference, countries are taking measures to look at gender-based rights. But whilst that is happening on the one hand, the gender-based violence is increasing. And perhaps we need to look at why. Why is patriarchy still existent in our societies? Why is it taking such a major role that, it is felt that women deserve to be assaulted, deserve to be treated as subordinates and so on. And I think that those are some of the thoughts that we need to grapple with at the present moment, and that we need to take responsibility, not only as governments, as religious communities, and as communities, as well as civil society. All of us need to get together and look at solutions that will bring about a peaceful, contented humanity in every country and throughout the universe. We also need to look at how do we relate to our environment and to our land and to the various parts of our universe. How do we treat our earth? How do we treat our animals? Those are concerns of, importance at the present moment, as it is, we are one humanity and one universe. And within this universe, if we can't learn to live together in harmony and peace, then we are going to destroy everything that we have. I think that that's the message I would like to convey to everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.